Hey guys, welcome back to another pick a card reading. I just wanted to say a huge thank you for 1K. I'm so thankful for all of you guys who have been subscribing, liking, watching these videos. Even if there are a few people watching them, it's still nice to know that these are helpful to someone out there. So, with that out of the way, let's get right into today's video. We are going to be taking a look at who you were in your past life or your past lives. So if you don't believe in past lives, this is probably not the video for you. Also, as always, these videos aren't meant to be taken seriously. They are for entertainment purposes only, okay? We have 4 piles here. Pile 1, 2, 3, and 4. So feel free to pause this video for a moment if you need some time to meditate on which of these piles you feel the most drawn to. And then once you've chosen, you can fast forward to the timestamp in the description box below. Thanks for watching and subscribing. And without further ado, let's start with Group 1. Hey Group 1, welcome to your reading. Let's see who you were in your past lives. Okay, let's start off with your tarot. Okay, so we have the 9 of Swords, the 9 of Cups, the 8 of Scepters or 8 of Wands in this deck, as well as the 8 of Cups, and then both of these are in reverse. Interesting. Okay, so we have 2 9s and 2 8s. Okay, so to start off with the 9 of Swords, this is a card that usually deals with worry, anxiety. This card also pertains to fear as well. So it's likely that in your past lives, you experienced a lot of fear, possibly, for who you were, what you believed in, where you came from. Also, I just feel like you guys have lived many lifetimes. We have 9s, we have 8s here. You guys seem to be old souls and are very wise. So it's likely that you've had to deal with these themes of like fear, rejection in many past lives and have kind of mastered how to, I don't want to say how to like be accepted, but how to find an understanding and common ground with people, okay? The 9 of Cups is a card of potential emotional security. It's also a card associated with the fulfillment of a wish. So it's likely that you guys had a lot of security and abundance in your past lives. You were probably well off, or you came from a well-off family. And then we have the 8 of Scepters in reverse with the 8 of Cups. So this is making me think that either you had a reversal of fortune or that you had to start a new lifestyle from scratch. Okay, so maybe you guys moved to a different country, or you had to learn a different language and learn to be a new person, basically, if that makes sense. Because the 8 of Wands here in reverse, or sorry, no, the 8 of Swords. Oh my gosh, I cannot speak. The 8 of Cups, this card, deals with leaving things behind and moving on, okay? So I think you guys probably had a more nomadic lifestyle. You were conditioned in a more traditional, restrictive household, and then you grew up and moved away and decided to step into someone else's shoes, if that makes sense, okay? I also feel like you guys probably had a lot of luck. I mean, we do have the 9 of Cups here. So another vibe that I get with this pile is that maybe you guys gambled. We have 2 9s and 2 8s. So when I first saw these cards, I was thinking like, you know how in poker you can have like 2 pairs? This would be 2 pairs. yeah, that's an interesting thing, but I feel like maybe some of you guys were gamblers or just really lucky, okay? Okay, for your animal spirit guides, we have the scorpion as well as oyster. So both of these creatures are pretty guarded, obviously. The scorpion is fiercely protective. And this is a card, this animal deals with transformation and rebirth. So this is likely a theme that you've experienced throughout many of your past lives, is that of transforming yourself, starting from scratch, becoming a different person, starting from a new household, a new country, and building a new lifestyle out of scratch, okay? It's also likely that you guys experienced some trauma as well that you've carried over from your past lives, because the scorpion, we all know, has that infamous sting. It's notorious for being a deadly, dangerous creature. So it is also possible that in many of your past lives you dealt with physical danger, the threat of danger. As I was saying earlier, we have the Nine of Swords here, which is a card of worry and fear. So maybe you guys had reason to be afraid or to be fearful of something. Or it could be that you were hurt very badly, that you carry certain traumas that deal with either rejection, loss, even betrayal. Because we do have the oyster here. Both these creatures, again, are very guarded. So it's likely that you've carried over some of these behaviors or survival mechanisms into your current life. So with the oyster, this is a very old creature. Oysters, as we know, hold pearls which take hundreds and hundreds of years to form. So, as I said, you guys are old souls. You've lived over and over again, many, many lifetimes. And that's what makes you so wise. You carry such a profound gift of wisdom and assuredness, because you guys know that you can always rebuild things again and that you can always start over, essentially. And I think that's the beauty. I think many of your lifetimes you kind of learned how to start things over, how to build things from scratch again. I feel like that is something that's very unique to this pile, is that you guys are kind of masters at starting from a whole new life, essentially. So yeah, let's get into your oracle cards. Okay, so we have astrology, destiny, as well as oracle, wisdom. Yes, okay. Oracle, guys. Maybe some of you guys have roots in ancient Greece or in the Mediterranean area. There's a big bubble kind of surrounding this temple here, which makes me think that you guys, in many of your past lives, not pastimes, past lives, grew up or were conditioned in a very sheltered or like restrictive way, because the bubble kind of represents you being in an environment or conditioned in a specific way that is very sheltering. So it could also be that you guys were really curious about what was outside of your bubble and wanted to kind of get out. You guys have this inclination to be free and to run free from where you grew up or however you were conditioned. I think you still carry that over from your past lives, is that need to escape and to see what else is out there outside of your bubble or your world, okay? And then with astrology, destiny, I think you guys are very connected to the stars. I think it's interesting that we have so many cups here. You guys probably had a lot of options and prospects in your past lives and were never bored. You could always move on to a different job or different country or lifestyle. I see diversity and richness in this pile, especially with multiculturalism, speaking different languages, or perhaps many of you guys had past lives that were in very different countries. Like, you had a past life in Mexico, and then you had like another in China, something very like starkly different, okay? But I also get that it's your destiny to teach this, to teach others how to rebuild themselves or learn from scratch in different places of the world, to get to know people and to understand what it's like to be in the shoes of someone else or to be a newbie, okay? So the next cards we have are the Gypsy Columbine as well as Joker is Wild. Yes, this is a very wild energy with this pile. I get that you guys were probably more nomadic. It's likely that you had some past lives where you were part of a tribe or part of a group that kind of migrated from place to place. A message that's coming through for you guys specifically is, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Chocolat. It has Judi Dench, Johnny Depp, Juliette Binoche, but essentially it's about her traveling to a small traditional French town and rebuilding her life with her daughter. And what she does is she travels from town to town with the north wind, as generations have done before her, from her mother's side, which carries down Mayan traditions of making chocolate and shares them with people and kind of carries on that tradition. So that was an image that came to mind when I was looking at these cards just now. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that movie or if it's just me. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I feel like many of you guys probably feel a deep connection to specific ancient traditions or rituals. That is definitely a sign that you experienced that, or those were a part of your past lives, for sure. Also with Gypsy Columbine, you guys are fiercely independent. Maybe you had a profession that wasn't quite taken seriously. As I said, maybe some of you guys were gamblers, traveled, were part of the circus. Maybe some of you guys did magic tricks. You had a lot of different talents and skills, but I don't think you had a conventional past life profession, okay? That is what I'm getting with this card. Also, Russia is coming through, but like more specifically Siberia. Maybe you had a past life in Russia. I do get that you guys were probably very stylish. When I think of Russia as well, I think of decadence, especially like old Russia, like ballrooms, ballet, the czars. Maybe you guys were actors, or you worked in a profession that traveled a lot from place to place, okay? That is what is coming through very strongly. And then with Joker is Wild. This is your skill, as I said, starting afresh. Joker is the first card in the tarot, so it deals with taking that leap of faith, taking that risk, going out on your own. You guys really embody this energy. Also, Joker is a very pure, simplistic energy. So I feel like you guys led a very simple past life. You didn't have, like you might have feared or had things that you were afraid of, obviously, that shaped how you lived, but I think you guys led a very simple life in the sense of you guys had a couple of things that you focused on and you kind of ran with that and brought that to other people and shared these gifts, okay? Which is very beautiful. Okay, so for your next cards, we have Sensual Awakening as well as Riding the Cosmic Wave. Wow. Okay, so we have Riding the Cosmic Wave. I get also that you guys do let things happen. You guys have a really strong faith in the universe and that it will carry you to wherever you need to go. Another message, well, literally a message in a bottle, that image of a bottle with a paper in it is coming through. So you guys have probably traveled to like everywhere over the span of all of your like past lives, you guys have probably traveled the oceans, the continents, learned traditions from nomadic people or other cultures too. But you guys have been riding the wave for so long and letting the universe just carry you wherever you needed to go at whatever time. And that's also what I was picking up on with the Joker, is that you guys didn't really, well, maybe in this life too, you don't really think about the consequences. You just go with it. You let things happen and see where they'll take you. And you guys definitely take a lot of risks with that. But you have been lucky, and I don't really see that luck running out. And then with Sensual Awakening, I kind of get that you guys, again, were very stylish. You probably lived a life of like decadence. Maybe that's why I was picking up on Russia earlier. But you guys did experience some of the finer things in life. Even if you were in a profession that was more looked down upon, or you weren't really taken seriously in your past lives, or whatever it might have been, you were able to have access to all the sweet and finer things in life, okay? And you did enjoy yourself here, okay? This is a very colorful, simplistic energy again. And I feel like you also helped awaken others to really embody their sensuality and their authenticity as well. So all in all, this is very beautiful, rich. You guys have lived many lifetimes traveling and living this independent, nomadic lifestyle and sharing these traditions with other people that you've met on your journey. And this journey is still going on. That's what's so great with this cosmic wave. You're forever running wild and free with this pile and letting the universe just carry you along. So yeah, these are the main things I am receiving for this pile, so I will leave it at that for now. I hope you guys liked it. I hope it resonated. If you did like it, feel free to give this video a thumbs up, comment, or subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a super amazing day wherever you're at. Stay awesome, and I will see you guys later. Hey Group 2, welcome to your reading. For all of you who've chosen this lovely Angelite crystal, let's get into your reading and see who you were in your past lives. Okay, let's start off with your tarot. This is the Egyptian Brotherhood Tarot, in case you're curious. So we have the Four of Coins, the Alchemist, Veiled Isis, as well as the Three of Scepters or the Three of Wands in traditional tarot. With the Four of Coins, this is a card of financial stability. This is a huge card of structure, actually. All the fours are kind of associated with that, but this is the strongest because it is the Four of Coins, and the coins are correlated to the material world. So maybe you guys had a past life where you were a merchant, or you traded with other people and kind of worked with that flow of exchanging things, like whether that be actual physical things or ideas, perhaps. Maybe you guys were more of like a diplomat, someone who kind of like exchanges information, or yeah, just like the exchange of goods or of ideas is coming through really strongly. Then we have the Alchemist here, which is super cool. You guys were definitely inventive. I'm also getting with this that education was very important to you. This pile is very lucky here. We have the Three of Wands or the Three of Scepters here. So possibly in one of your past lives, you were granted the opportunity of like an education scholarship, a chance to study at an actual university, or at like a religious school, or to join like an elite group of people. I do think that this pile probably had a past life where they rose to a position of prestige or of just high respect, okay? I'm not necessarily picking up that you guys were like powerful world leaders or anything like that, but I am picking up that you guys were very much respected for your craft, whatever it was, or for your knowledge perhaps, because we do have veiled Isis here, and this is a card of truth, but of divine truth and wisdom, because she's veiled, so she deals more with the type of truth that is unseen. So divination, religion, beliefs, prophecy. This is a very intuitive card. So it is possible that you guys had a very religious past life where you joined the church perhaps, or you were a priest or a priestess, granted a lot of respect and prestige for whatever you did. I think also you guys definitely had a past life in ancient Egypt, ancient Sumeria. I feel like you guys had a very unique talent that you guys like possibly could write, or like some skill that was very unique in your time that was like sought after, that not a lot of people could do or had access to. So it probably dealt with education, because for most of human history, education has been tied with religion, and both of those elements are coming through very strongly so far in your reading. So I just had to say it. You guys were probably part of the church, dealt with some kind of education, or seeking higher truth here, okay? Alright, so for your animal spirit guides, we have octopus as well as whale. Whoa, okay, so both of these are fabulous water creatures, very wise too. Whales are one of the oldest creatures to live on the planet. Octopuses as well are very ancient too. And you can see here in this card how the crown of the octopus's head is awakening and turning a rainbowish color. This is symbolic of awakening and enlightenment. So again, in your past lives or your past life, this could be one particular past life that I'm picking up on too. You guys were asking these higher questions, like why do we exist? What is death? What is life? Things like that, okay? Because again, with veiled Isis here, there's a strong emphasis on the unseen and the seeking of divine truth. I also get with the octopus, because we have all these tentacles reaching out in different places, that you guys had a very large network of people. Or perhaps you're, again, like part of an elite group. You had powerful contacts, or again, just like a large network of people to reach out to. So I think it's likely, if you chose this pile, that you had a past life that dealt in some kind of diplomacy, scholarship, like academic prestige, education, or religious prestige possibly. But yeah, you have always been seen as someone who is very wise here with the octopus and the whale. The whale is a very patient energy. Whales are also motherly as well. I'm getting that if you were a woman in a past life, you were very much respected and seen as kind of like a matriarch of your community, or you were given like a special position of authority. Yeah, I'm getting like a strong like motherly matriarch vibe with the whale here. I'm also getting that maybe you were like a town elder, a town leader, possibly like a leader within a smaller community, or you just had, again, a large network and group of like powerful friends that you were a part of. Whales, as I said earlier, are one of the oldest creatures to live on this planet. So you have probably lived many, many lifetimes to an older age. Like, you guys are very mature. And also, I think you've accumulated so much knowledge, especially with like regards to like ancient texts. I feel like you guys, again, just have a very academic emphasis here on education, religion, truth seeking. So yeah, very interesting. Okay, let's see what else we have. Okay, so we have Augur, which is mastery, as well as crystals, healing. Yeah, okay, so with Augur, we have this old man here. I just feel like you guys, in many of your past lives, lived to be 90, 80, a very mature age, and people around you were kind of baffled at how wise and old you were, you know? And then with crystals, you were probably a healer of some sort. A strong connection here as well with earthly things, because we have the Four of Coins as well. So material things were very important to you. You lived a life of financial security, stability, strong structure, and discipline here as well. Also, if there are any specific crystals that you feel really drawn to, for instance, lapis lazuli, which was very popular in ancient Egypt, it is likely that you had a past life there. Or for instance, if it's like jade, then perhaps it was ancient China that you had a past life in. But yeah, crystals kind of have that connection to ancient cultures, because certain civilizations very much put spiritual emphasis on stones and gave them meanings, which we've carried on through to this present day. So yeah, also keep that in mind. Any particular crystals or stones you feel drawn to, you probably also had a connection with in some of your past lives. Okay, so for your next cards, we have Date with Destiny as well as Sacred Fool. Ooh, okay, so with Sacred Fool, this is a very pure, innocent energy. The Fool is the first card in the tarot that deals with new beginnings, someone who's learning something for the first time and taking that risk, that first step of putting themselves out there. I think this is why you guys are such wise learners. You've learned so much throughout all of your lifetimes because you are always open. With the octopus, your crown is very open, if you chose this pile, to learning new things. You guys have a sensitive, acuteness to picking up on synchronicities, divine knowledge, and consciousness as well. That's what I'm seeing with this Sacred Fool. But yeah, you guys are extremely wise, and as I said earlier, we're probably gifted in one specific skill. And that talent, I think you've carried over to this lifetime. So if there's any thing that you are exceptionally good at, unbelievably talented in, you probably mastered that in one of your past lives, okay? So yeah, and then Date with Destiny is a very kind of inevitable energy. Destiny is what some people think of as their ultimate life goal or what they are destined to do or fulfill. Others think that destiny basically means ending, death, because we're all destined to die. I think in many of your past lives, or just this one in particular, you had an acute destiny in sense of purpose and specific questions that you were here to on this earth to help answer, especially pertaining to higher truths, philosophy. As I've been saying, this pile has a strong connection to religion and education in particular. So I get with this card that you had a divine sense of purpose and destiny in this past life or past lives. It's also possible that one of your lives was cut short for some reason. Destiny, this card does deal with things that are beyond our control that just happen. like an earthquake, a flood, things that can change our lives, you know, in the blink of an eye. So yeah, it is possible that you had one life that was cut short, or you experienced a particular event in time that ended up sealing your fate. So like maybe there was a war, or you were lost at sea. I don't know, that sounds really specific, but that came into my head like a second ago, and I just had to say it because I don't know, someone might relate out there. But yeah, this is a very interesting pile here. So the last cards we have are Heaven and Heartfire. Wow. Okay, so with Heaven, it's likely that you experienced heaven, like in some of these past lives. You experienced extreme bliss and enlightenment, as I said. Divine awakening. You felt really close to God or to divine energy in the universe. Heaven is also a card of idealism as well. So it could also be that in some of your past lives, you idolize things, people, or maybe you idolize one of your past lives in particular. If you feel really connected to the bliss that you felt, or the perfection, the heavenly perfection of one of your past lives, that could also be something, you know. I do feel like this pile might idolize some of their past lives. But with this card in general, I think that you experienced extreme bliss and divine connection in many of your past lives, okay? And then with Heartfire, this is a very pure energy as well. This is card number 1, and it's all about passion and heart connection. There is something that you guys are extremely passionate about that is tied to your soul purpose, your destiny that you've carried over to this lifetime. I don't know if you guys know what it is, or if you have a strong feeling or urge or calling even to do, or to follow rather, this heart fire. But whenever this comes out, it's for a reason. And I think with this pile, this curiosity or passion for truth and higher learning is definitely something that you've carried over into this lifetime, which is very profound and important to you guys in particular, okay? So yeah, all in all, I think your past lives were very happy. You guys got lucky. You were able to have access to specific opportunities that other people didn't have access to, and you developed a talent to a level of mastery that you've carried over into this life, that I think you guys still have a calling or some kind of unfinished business with, okay? So yeah, these are the main things I am seeing for you guys. So I will leave this reading at that for now. I hope you guys liked it. I hope it made sense. If you guys did like it, feel free to give this video a thumbs up, comment, or subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a super amazing day wherever you're at. Stay awesome, and I will see you guys later. Hey Group 3, welcome to your reading for all of you who chose this gorgeous amethyst. Let's get into your reading and see who you were in your past lives. Okay, so we're going to start off with your tarot. This is the Egyptian Brotherhood Tarot, in case you're curious. So we have the Horseman of Swords, the Enchantress, the Two Paths, as well as the Nine of Scepters or Knight of Wands. Okay, so to start off with the Horseman of Swords, also the Knight of Swords, this card deals with strategy. In this deck, its meaning is more associated with devotion to a client, or kind of just being more of a servant. So I think it's likely that you guys in one of your pastime, or sorry, I keep saying pastimes, past lives were someone of a lower rank who exceeded their position to become someone who is the enchantress, someone who is very powerful. The enchantress deals with justice, law, right of rule, moral force, okay? So I think you guys were someone who rose to a very powerful rank without using force, okay? Through using just your devotion and your loyalty. Maybe you guys were a servant of someone who was very powerful, and your service ended up landing you a much higher position, or you took over like your master's position when they died or something like that. This is very specific, but it is strongly coming through that you guys rose to a very high rank from being like a servant or someone who was probably born into poverty, okay? I'm getting like Pip Great Expectation vibes here, okay? Even though he ends up losing his money, it's still like the vibe where you guys became like a gentleman or a knight or someone of importance like overnight, okay? And then we have the two paths here, which is obviously a card that deals with choice. So I get the feeling that you've come to this same choice, or you've had to make this same choice in many of your past lives where you've arrived or like you've taken the same road to this choice. And yeah, maybe you have made different choices throughout different lives, but the life that I am seeing here, where you rise to great prominence, the choice is between simplicity, security, versus like a divine calling, okay? I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, the choice between a simplistic, easy life or one of difficulty, but ultimately authority here, okay? Yeah, I think for you guys, the career was something that was very important to you guys in your past lives. Your choice probably pertained to that, like choosing your career over love, or I don't know, choosing a career over something, okay? We also have the Nine of Scepters here, or the Nine of Swords. Or no, wait, the Nine of Wands, okay? The Nine of Wands. This is a card of being able to see ahead of yourself, but not too far. The Nine of Wands does deal with being a bit guarded and kind of like protective more so. So with that, I get the feeling like you guys were very careful. You navigated through this rocky road, or treaded it very carefully. You used your mind. I also get that like you guys, even though you guys came from a lower like station or upbringing, you were still great learners, like fast at learning something, able to pick up on what you needed to do to rise to the occasion, like quickly, okay? Yeah, and it's because we have the Horseman of Swords here, which is very strategic. The Horseman of Swords, or sorry, the Knight of Swords in traditional tarot can be a bit of a rash energy. It is very fast, but it is effective in winning an argument and using logic to defeat one's opponent, okay? That was also what I was getting with the Enchantress here, because this card does deal with moral force as opposed to like using physical force to get what you want, which I think is something that's very important to this pile, or to like the past life that you had, which dealt with using, or rather choosing, your moral code, basically taking the high road here with the two paths. Okay, so for your animal spirit guides, we have zebra as well as hyena. Interesting that both of these animals actually come from the same habitat. One is prey and then the other is a predator. So that kind of makes me think that you guys went from being someone who was potential prey to someone who was like head of the pack, someone who became a strong competitor, okay? Someone who's formidable. That's a key word for this pile, is formidable. You guys definitely, the theme here deals with you guys rising above your station to become powerful and formidable, okay? Zebra is also a card, it's a wild card. It deals with freedom, wearing your stripes proudly. Zebras are also very social as well. So I get that you guys made a lot of allies through taking the more fair, justice-oriented approach to your career or your path in life in general. I think this is something that you still carry through to this current lifetime that you're living, is this importance that you place or emphasis on justice and using fairness and the moral high ground to get what you want, okay? I also think that you guys are fiercely loyal, and your loyalty was rewarded 3 times fold in you guys being able to climb this ladder, climb the ladder of success, okay? All right, let's get some more cards for you guys. So we have I Ching, change, as well as numerology, precision. So with numerology, as I was saying earlier about you guys being able to pick up on things really quickly or learn like really fast, I think you guys were pretty smart, very precise, logical, strategic in the moves that you played in your past lives, but also still to this day. I think you guys are just great with making a decision on the spot based off of what you know to be right, like using your integrity, but also relying on your knowledge of probability and using numbers to work in your favor, okay? That is something that's coming through strongly. And then with I Ching, change, this is a card of transformation, extreme change, like changing your life around, transforming your reality, essentially. So this is pretty clear. I think you guys have lived many pastimes, or sorry, I keep saying pastimes, past lives, where you change your life around dramatically, whether that be you rising to an extreme level of prominence, or you guys exuding extreme influence over other people and like changing their lives too. It could also be that, because I do feel like you guys have carried extreme social influence, have had a lot of allies throughout many lifetimes, people who have crossed your path, who you've treated kindly and fairly when you could have chosen to be mean to them, okay? So I think you've built up a lot of good karma here with the Enchantress, which has carried over to this lifetime. At least your guys' gifts of being able to use your mind for the greater good and being able to see one step ahead here as well with the 9 of Scepters. Okay, so for your next Oracle cards, we have the Maven of Masks as well as Out of Darkness. Wow. So yeah, with Out of Darkness, this is the thing. I think you guys were able to lift yourself out of whatever black hole you were in multiple like lifetimes that you've lived. You have been able to lift yourself up, to enlighten yourself, to be self-taught even, also to lift others out of darkness as well. And then with Maven of Masks, this is a very adaptable, changey energy here. You never know with this card, like, what mask she's going to put on next, or if she's even, like, who she says she is, okay? So with this, I get that, again, you guys are very adaptable. You can change on the blink of a dime to suit whatever environment you need to. I think that's also why zebra came out, because zebra, again, being an animal of prey, has to run away if it sees any hint of danger, or it has to learn how to like camouflage itself, if it can even do that, right? And then of course hyenas are very fast and can change depending on their environment as well. So the message with this is that you guys have developed this skill throughout your past lives of being able to transform yourself to suit your environment. You guys are great chameleons because of that, and I think it is often, more often than not, work to your favor, and you guys can definitely use that skill to get what you want as well. Okay. So for your last cards, we have Becoming. Yes, we have Becoming, guys, as well as the Cloak. Interesting. So with Becoming, this is Michelle Obama vibes, guys. This is like choosing to be a good person and choosing to live a life of like fairness, justice. More specifically, Becoming, this relates to you guys growing as a person and rising in not just station but consciousness as well, like you guys evolving into a much higher human being. Okay, so this is very beautiful. I'm not surprised this came out, because when I think of this card, I think of like Capricorn energy, of being able to climb that mountain. And believe me, you guys have climbed many mountains throughout your past lives, to where that is something that you have also developed a skill in as well, is being able to build yourself up from nothing through being loyal and fair, treating others with respect, okay? And then with the Cloak, this is interesting. The Cloak, when I saw this card, I almost thought of like joining the priesthood, like the Cloak, or some kind of like church faction or group, because the Cloak is something that people of the church wear, or like a secret society. I don't know. But what I get with this more so is that you guys like ascending to a position of prestige where you wear like some kind of cloak, or even like a title perhaps. Maybe you had a past life where you were like knighted or you were like granted some land, a title, some kind of like position of authority or power. Okay, that's what I think of honestly when I think of the Cloak. The other side of this could be almost like the veil, like you guys, sorry about the shakiness, you guys teaching yourselves to see beyond the veil of time and space, essentially, okay? I get the feeling with both of these cards that you guys have taught yourselves throughout your soul's evolution to see beyond the ordinary and to look ahead to what things will actually materialize as and what will be left behind after you're dead, okay? This is kind of deep, but with this card in general, it does have that material connotation of a cloak or a higher station, but also the Cloak can represent something more metaphysical as the veil of intuition and being able to use your insight and your spiritual gifts to lift the cloak or the veil of ignorance or unknown, okay? This is very cool, guys. So overall, the vibe of this pile, you guys have lived many past lives of learning to adapt yourself, change yourself from the inside out, raise in station, no matter like your circumstances that you guys have dealt with in the past. You've always been able to climb out of it, no matter how hard, and make the right choice, that of choosing your integrity and fairness, okay? So yeah, these are the main things I am receiving for this pile, so I will leave it at that for now. I hope you guys liked it. I hope it made sense. If you guys did like it, feel free to give this video a thumbs up, comment, or subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a super amazing day wherever you're at. Stay awesome, and I will see you guys later. Hey group 4, welcome to your reading for all of you who chose this gorgeous emerald. Let's get into your reading and see who you were in a past life or your past lives. Okay, so we'll start off with your tarot. I'm sorry if you can hear that noise. Actually, that's my annoying neighbor. Okay, so to start off with your tarot, this is the Egyptian Brotherhood Tarot, by the way, just in case you're curious. So we have the Ace of Coins, the Ace of Scepters or Ace of Wands. We have the Lightning, as well as the Queen of Coins. Gorgeous. So what I get immediately with the Ace of Coins is that you guys led a very wealthy lifestyle. Okay, you had a past life where you were wealthy, obviously. We also, because we have the Queen of Coins here as well, so this is extreme energy of abundance and wealth here. Also, interestingly, we have a lot of Libra energy here as well, so maybe you're a Libra. We also have a lot of Mars here too, with the Aries and then the Mars. With these two ones deal with unity, wholeness, beginnings. I feel like you guys are younger souls. Maybe you've only had 1 or 2 past lives before this one. You have a more innocent nature. That's something that I am picking up on, because we have a lot of Libra, also Aries energy here as well. Aries is the first sign. So yeah, you guys are very innocent, like gentle, but I see that in one of your past lives, or your past lives in general, you led a very wealthy, like privileged life where you were lucky to have everything that you had, right? But then we have the lightning strike here, which I don't want to say it's like a reversal of fortune, but the lightning strike does deal with something that rocked your world, something that changed your life forever. So this could have been like a war. This could have been you guys having to flee. America's coming through. Maybe you guys had to come like to the Americas to flee like your homeland or something like that. This could also have been like the death of someone who was close to you. There is an energy that I'm picking up on with this pile having to do with loss of some sort, but more of like an emotional loss. I don't think you guys lost your fortune or anything, because we still have the Queen of Coins here, but I think there was definitely some emotional trauma that you guys have carried over into this lifetime, perhaps. Let's get some more cards to see what else is going on here. Okay, so we have deer as well as lamb. Wow. Okay, both of these are earth element animals. That's beautiful. These are so sweet. Honestly, like, yeah, this is the vibe of this pile, you guys. Because the energy that we have in our past lives, I think largely we do carry it over to our current lifetime, at least as it relates to like character traits or talents as well. So I think you guys naturally have a gift of empathy and compassion, even if you have lived many past lives where you were privileged or you were in a position to be more ignorant. I do feel like you guys have always related to animals and had a great empathy for animals, or even people who are vulnerable, okay? Both of these creatures as well are often seen as prey, right? Like we eat lamb, deer are hunted. You guys are very sensitive souls. I do get that you are on the younger side, like you haven't lived as many lifetimes here on Earth, perhaps. But this lightning strike energy is coming through really strongly as like a particular event or like a loss of something that really kind of froze you in time. I don't know if this could be like the loss of a person. You know how like Queen Victoria like wore black for the rest of her life after Albert died? It's kind of that vibe, although not like as extreme. I don't think you guys like maybe you lost someone who you loved. It doesn't have to be necessarily that you wore black, but something rocked your life and you were never the same afterwards, okay? It's also kind of the same thing with Miss Havisham. I'm getting major Miss Havisham vibes where it's just like your life stopped one day and you froze, you know, she froze in that moment of time after like she was jilted at the wedding. That's so sad. But I think there is something kind of sad about this pile. It feels more like an emptiness when I look at some of these cards. Like, yes, there's a lot of abundance. You have two aces here. You have two aces, the Queen of Coins. There's so much energy in your favor and pointing to material security, worldly security. Like, you guys never were in a position where you didn't have enough or where you didn't feel like secure or safe, right? But at the same time, with this lightning strike, there was something that just really changed, like, drastically. This could be like a revolution. This could be, I feel like this is probably more of like a collective event that you lived through in one of your past lives that was very disruptive of society and probably reshaped things drastically, okay? Let's see what else we get with your oracle cards. Okay, so we have flowers, fickle, as well as coins, abundance. Okay, guys, so we have more coins. We have the Ace of Coins, the Queen of Coins, and we have coins. So you guys are probably like insanely wealthy. Maybe you were I feel like you came from a rich family though. Like, I don't think you worked for it necessarily. I think you were kind of just born into it because we have the Ace of Coins as the first card. You were like born with it, with money, with privilege, right? But you weren't like snarky about it. You were aware, I think, of how lucky you were, and I think it made you extra sensitive to other people's vulnerabilities, okay? I think it gave you a greater sense of empathy for other people or creatures who might be in a more vulnerable position than you, okay? And then we have flowers here. This is very beautiful. This card says fickle. Yeah, like this could be a reversal in fortune that you experienced, or like a change of outlook too, because I don't really feel like you guys were fickle in the sense of being greedy. There's not really a greedy energy here because the Queen of Coins, it's like she feels so abundant and open, like her arms are open. She is receiving, right? This is a very receptive pile. We have the deer, the lamb, of extremely sensitive, innocent energy here. So I don't think you guys were like greedy, even if you were extremely wealthy in your past lives. I think it's more so that you were forced to change your outlook when your life was turned upside down by some kind of event or some change in the wind, okay? But the energy that we do have here is so beautiful. Honestly, I think you guys lived a very beautiful life. Even if you experienced some kind of loss or like reversal in fortune, like it wasn't really a reversal in fortune. I think you guys were able to recover because we have the Queen of Wands following it. I think you guys just rebuilt your life somewhere else. It is a strong message that you guys probably were forced to flee or to like go to a different country or start over, okay? And I think that's why we have two aces here, because the aces deal with new beginnings. So you probably have lived many lifetimes that have that same theme of needing to start over in the sense of changing your outlook, because work isn't really like what's coming through strongly here, even though we have so many coins, and coins usually deal with the material side of things like work or like career. For instance, I feel like you guys were always just more in touch with your emotional needs, okay? Like your emotional nature, as opposed to like paying the bills, okay? I don't think you guys have really like were worried about making money in the same way. Okay, let's see what else is coming through for you guys. So we have the White Duchess as well as Nebula Warrior. This is interesting. Nebula Warrior kind of represents someone who is easily vilified, whether they are a villain or not. So maybe people didn't like you in your past lives. Maybe you were someone who came off as very rich and snotty, even if like you weren't, okay? There is this vibe with the Nebula Warrior because we have the nebula that they can't really see beyond that. It's just a facade, an outer appearance of someone who seems like a villain. Like they might be, but there's not really other stuff in this pile. Like we have the lamb here, which is so sweet and innocent of a creature that I wouldn't really think of you guys as villainous, but I could see how other people would perceive you to be like villainous, if we have like, if we're talking about privilege, and especially like pretty privilege, I think you guys are probably very beautiful and have carried that throughout many of your lifetimes. Your beauty, how things do come more easily to you, which has probably made people jealous of you, okay? Or wanting to vilify you. But yeah, that is something that you've probably experienced throughout many of your lifetimes, has been people misjudging you or only taking you at face value. And then with the White Duchess, this is a very pure, clean energy. Also, this kind of just makes me like think of Miss Havisham again. I don't know why that is such a strong message for this pile, but I think the reason again has to do with this lightning strike, how you had a past life that was really traumatic in the sense of things just turning around in the blink of an eye, and you guys having to, you guys choosing to either live in the past or change your life altogether, okay? That's kind of the vibe with the White Duchess card, is, sometimes being a bit stuck in the past, but also not being able to see things as clearly through the white fog and the snow here, okay? So similar to the nebula, I think you guys sometimes have struggled with, looking at your past and having like empathy for yourself. I think sometimes you guys, you have a lot of empathy for other people, but when it comes to yourself, you can be quite cold at times and not really think you deserve pity, or think that you, because you are lucky or you were born with more privilege or whatever the case is, that you guys you are hard on yourself, okay? You are hard on yourself. You kind of take that approach with the Ace of Scepters or Wands here, like an iron fist. Sometimes I think you guys, you can be so gentle with other people, especially other people who you want to help, but sometimes when it comes to yourself, you are more fickle in what you choose to give to yourself or afford yourself. So I think that is a pattern that you've carried over through many lifetimes, okay? This pile is going through some deep emotional healing, okay, on a soulful level, because in one of your past lives, or even multiple ones, this lightning strike just happened and there was no way to prepare for it. Like something happened to you that was really gnarly, and I think you are still healing from that, whatever it is, even if it's on like a microscopic level. Events and traumas can still leave an imprint on our soul that still exists even after many lifetimes. So I think that is something you guys are probably aware of for sure. Okay, let's see last cards that are coming through. So we have Dream a Little, as well as Just for a Moment, Joy. Ooh, this is so sweet. Yes, you guys are so innocent. This is very youthful energy too. Childlike. Again, I think you guys are definitely younger souls. I think you've only lived like 2-3 lifetimes max before this one. So you are still kind of like seeing things through a very sweet, doughy lens. You know what I mean? And then with Dream a Little here, I think you guys have a huge imagination. This is one of your gifts, I think, that you have carried over as well from your past lives, because we have traumas and we have talents that carry over through past lives. And this is definitely a talent, is your guys' imagination. I don't know if that is a talent, but I think it is if you guys use it for creative purposes, or if you use it to help others, or dream yourself out of a situation, I guess. But this is very beautiful. You guys have such a pure, clean, beautiful energy here. So overall, what I'm seeing with this group is that you guys have lived many lifetimes of privilege and beauty and things coming easy to you. But you have had some very traumatic events as well that have happened to you that have forever kind of disrupted, I think, the way you look at yourself and the way you look at the world as well, okay? So yeah, these are the main things I'm receiving for this pile, so I will leave it at that for now. I hope you guys liked it. I hope it made sense. If you did like it, feel free to give this video a thumbs up, comment, or subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a super amazing day wherever you're at. Stay awesome, and I will see you guys later.